Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. Oh my, what a wonderful day. Plenty of sunshine hit my way. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. Hello, and welcome back to the Zero Zone. If you were listening to my song, you probably know what is up on this episode. Recently, Splash Mountain has just closed, being replaced by Prison the Frog. But today, to celebrate, we are going to take a deeper look into the darker origins of Br'er Rabbit. You probably didn't know there were any dark origins. Well, there are a few out there. If you want to know more, the history of a few things, I won't tell you everything. So, if you want to know more, you can look at the comments below to John Solo's play episode. He touches on a little bit more of the history of Charles Harris, the author, and many more about this movie in particular. But today we'll just be looking at the dark origins of Br'er Rabbit himself, and many hijinks he got into. Let's jump right in. The book, written by Charles Harris, hung in the South, who lived in a plantation. He did the stories based on what he has been told by many of the slaves that lived there, and put it all into a story called Uncle Remus's Stories. And it's about him living in the plantation and telling this all to a boy named Johnny, who is there, and he's been working at a job to tell him stories, to teach him lessons and stuff, along with his friends. All his friends, Ginny and Toby. Most of the stories about Br'er Rabbit. Br'er Rabbit is a very trickster character. He's a rabbit that lives in a briar patch. And pretty much most of his stories are about him getting into trouble with Br'er Fox and Br'er Bear. Br'er Bear and Br'er Fox try to eat Br'er Rabbit, but Br'er Rabbit always gets entrapped and always easily gets him unstuck out of things and gets away. But he uses his clever mind and wit to trick them, like he always does, in a way. Br'er Rabbit is a very tricksterish hero, where he uses his wits and his brains to stop Br'er Fox and Br'er Bear to get out of his traps. In a way, Br'er Rabbit can be a good guy, but in some situations in the stories, he's also treated as a bad guy for the trickster choices he chooses. In this particular story, he is referred as a rabbit. In some other regions, he's also referred as a spider. But we're just going to take a look at him as a rabbit in particular. The spider one, we'll have to look at a different episode, or not talk about him at all. You can tell me your thoughts, comments below if I should take a look at that. But anyway, Br'er Rabbit is meant to be more of a trickster hero, and sometimes that can make him become evil in some ways. Anyway, we're going to look into some Br'er Rabbit stories that are based on the movie itself. In the movie, we're going to take a look at all the darker origins of them and take a look at all of them. One is called Br'er Rabbit gets $1 and earns $1 a minute. Br'er Rabbit in this story, unlike the Disney movie where he runs away from his troubles, instead, in this story, he is captured by Br'er Fox's traps for stealing some peanuts in his garden. While he was in that trap, he's stuck. He comes across Br'er Bear, who tells him, tricking him into thinking that he's getting $1 a minute to be like a scarecrow for Br'er Fox. So Br'er Bear switched places with Br'er Rabbit because he got jealous of him. Once he does, he visits with him, and Bear Fox tries to collect Br'er Rabbit to eat him when he sees Br'er Bear there. Feeling so fooled, he was so mad at him for being so easily tricked by Br'er Rabbit. And that's the end of that story pretty much. The other two stories that were made by this movie was The Laughing Place and Br'er Rabbit and the Tar Baby. Br'er and the Tar Baby in particular is a very controversial story at that. It's basically about Br'er Fox making a trap for Br'er Rabbit by making a person out of tar. The interesting about this particular story is that it's controversial. The reason why is that's what people used for slang terms to call a black person. So in a way, this particular slang term, tar baby, was very censored in some stories of the books and stuff. So that's why this one is so controversial in particular. And The Laughing Place is the most popular one of all, which is my favorite one of all. But this one is very much similar to the original, so you don't have to touch on that one. There are many different stories that Brett made over the years, but I can't touch on all of them because we'd be here all day if we did. So I'm gonna leave you with this. I'm gonna leave you with this bright and ring cheering, saying that Br'er Rabbit is a very sensitive character, and for that reason, for many things that happened, this movie is very controversial for a reason. For this particular movie is racist for that reason. While it may be sad that Splash Mountain is going, I can see why they made some changes. Disney's getting more woke now, and it's time to make some changes. So, whether you are happy or sad about Splash Mountain going, you can't deny that it's for the best for Disney. And that's just for what it is. So, Disney is growing up, and they learned their lesson from this movie. If you don't believe me, check out the movie for yourself. I've researched it, and I found a full-length version of some of the stuff myself. If you want to go check it out. It's a really good movie. It's worth checking out. I won't give anything away about it. But I'll just say, it's worth checking out. It may not be the best movie that Disney has made. It may be a worse mistake that Disney has made too. But it's worth checking out if you really want to know why it's so racist and why you're so curious about it yourself. But anyway, Song of the South is a very interesting movie, and it should be treated as such. I hope you guys find a way to celebrate Splash Mountain in your own special way as possible. And I'll see you next time on The Terror Zone. As for me, as you guys simply know, there is going to be a movie called Foxy Loxy and the Cursed Book, which will be a finale to the Terror Zone story. If you guys don't know, as you can see, these Br'er Rabbit stories are very similar to each other. In that way, Br'er Rabbit in this particular movie in my particular movie that I'm going to make, is going to be mostly the antagonist in a way. But not really, because I won't want to give away who the real antagonist is. But Br'er Rabbit is meant to be tricked and fooled in some kind of way, even though he's not meant to be tricked or fooled. But in this time he is, because he's desperate. And in this movie, he realizes how desperate he truly was. Brad has suffered a lot from him being racist in this particular movie, A Song of the South. And he's suffered a lot of trauma from it. So, in a way, this movie is going to tell you how Brad has treated such literally, and how he took in the Splash Mountain movie, the ride with Tiana taking over, and how he feels in that kind of way. This movie is going to show you just how he feels about it, and how come to terms with it. He finds that he can actually have a chance to be in this particular world of dark origins of Br'er Rabbit, where he can be himself still, out before anyone knew that he was ever a movie. He could just be in a book. Have the adventures he always has with Br'er Fox and Br'er forever, and nothing would change. That's what he wants to do. You can find out if Fox Fox in the Cursed Book very soon. I just want to give you a little bit of a taste of what you're going to get with Br'er Rabbit when you see this movie come, so you're not too confused. Anyway, I'll see you next time on The Terror Zone. Bye.